Alright, let's face it, you're probably back here because you lost your 50-50 on whatever summons you have been doing, and you finally went crazy enough to decide to build this goat. And so as someone who decided to build them for fun and try out different builds, got chances to use them optimally, unoptimally, all that kind of stuff, different teams. Honestly, a lot better than I thought, a lot more fun than I thought. So if you are deciding to build them, I hope you have as much fun as I did. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can optimally build Yanqing, making him do some damage at least. I know there's memes that he's bad because I won't like have my bias infiltrate this, but yeah, Yanqing isn't that crazy compared to most of the game, very much on the bottom side of the game, but in the right hands, he is actually usable. And so whether you're bored or whether you're like me who just likes Yanqing and wants to build them, this guide is for you. But real quick, check out this clip I have on Arknights.
Not like this. Just give me something I'm happy about. Oh!
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Well, I'm skipping this.
Only one.
What? 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 What the fuck? What?
There's no way.
Wait, you can. I thought you.
So TLDR on that clip is I literally bought packs to Spark Rosemontis, and so while summoning, I was already at like 100 something in that limited banner, and so I did another 100 pulls. I got a Virtuosa Paw, a Viviana, and then randomly pulled Rosemontis like that. So I lost my actual mind because I didn't think you could actually pull limiteds that weren't featured. So my friend told me that after, and I was very hyped, as you could tell. So I want to get back to using Rosemontis, so let's get this over with. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this. Let's get straight into it. So Yanqing is a ice character following the path of Hunt. His basic attack deals ice damage equal to 100% of Yanqing's attack to a single enemy. His skill deals ice damage equal to 220% of Yanqing's attack to a single enemy and activates Soul Steal Sync for 1 turn. His ultimate increases Yanqing's crit rate by 60%. When Soul Steal Sync is active, increases Yanqing's crit damage by an extra 50%. This buff lasts for 1 turn. Afterwards, it deals ice damage equal to 350% of Yanqing's attack to a single enemy. His talent, when Soul Steal Sync is active, Yanqing is less likely to be attacked by enemies, which is cap. Yanqing's crit rate increases by 20% and his crit damage increases by 30%. After Yanqing attacks an enemy, there is a 60% fixed chance to perform a follow-up attack dealing ice damage equal to 50% of Yanqing's attack to the enemy, which has a 65% base chance to freeze the enemy for 1 turn. The frozen enemy cannot take action and receives additional ice damage equal to 50% of Yanqing's attack at the beginning of each turn. When Yanqing receives damage, the Soul Steal Sync effect will disappear. His technique: after using his technique, at the start of the next battle, Yanqing deals 30% more damage for 2 turns to enemies whose current HP is 50% or higher. His bonus traces: first one, when a crit hit is triggered, increases speed by 10% for 2 turns. Second one, when Soul Steal Sync is active, effect res increases by 20%. And third one, when Yanqing attacks, it deals ice damage equal to 30% of Yanqing's attack to enemies with ice weakness. So as you can sort of see, he does have a lot of inbuilt crit rate and crit damage. He does have a chance to perform a slightly weaker follow-up attack that does have chances of freeze. And the whole thing is you pretty much always want to have Soul Steal Sync active to get the maximum bonuses. And the way to do that is to just not get hit. And so usually pairing him with someone that's like a shielder, be it Jeopard, Aventurine especially, the whole goal is just to practically just not let him get hit. His Eidolons: first one, when Yanqing attacks a frozen enemy, he deals additional ice damage equal to 60% of his attack. Second Eidolon, when Soul Steal Sync is active, energy regeneration rate increases by an extra 10%. Fourth Eidolon, when the current HP is 80% or higher, ice res pen increases by 12%. And final Eidolon, if the buffs from Soul Steal Sync or the ultimate are in effect when an enemy is defeated, the duration of these buffs is extended by 1 turn, so you can just have more upside with this if you do kill people. Moving on to the Lightcones for Yanqing, a really good one for him is actually Zele's signature Lightcone. What it does is increases the wearer's crit rate by 18%. With this Lightcone alone, you practically don't need to have any crit rolls on him. While the wearer is in battle, for every 10 speed that exceeds 100, the damage of the wearer's basic attack and skill increases by 6%, and the crit damage of their ultimate is increased by 12%. This effect can stack up to 6 times. So effectively, you want to get up to 160 speed to get the full bonuses this Lightcone provides. With Yanqing, it is pretty easy. He does have a pretty high base speed, and he also does give him speed when he does score a critical hit. Combining this with just your rolls, speed boots, and maybe even Ruanmei, you probably don't even need Ruanmei. Ruanmei is practically his best partner, but if you do or do not have it, it's really easy to get 160 speed or higher. Another good one is actually Dr. Ratio's signature Lightcone. What it does is increases the wearer's crit damage by 20%. For every debuff on the enemy target, the wearer's crit damage dealt against this target additionally increases by 8%, stacking up to 3 times. When using ultimate to attack the enemy, the wearer receives the Disputation effect, which increases damage dealt by 36% and enables their follow-up attacks to ignore 24% of the target's defense. This effect lasts for 2 turns. So this one will require you to probably have another character that can apply a decent amount of debuffs, be it one other or two others. But what this Lightcone does provide, giving you 20% crit damage, is really nice. Letting you stack up to 24% extra crit damage is also very nice. And when you do use his ultimate, you get increased dealt damage onto that person. And now your follow-up attack ignores 24% of the target's defense, which can be really helpful because Yanqing's follow-up attacks are on the weaker side. But with this defense lowering and the damage dealt increase, it can help. Another option you can use on him is actually swordplay. Since it's a 4-star, I'll display it at S5. What it does is for each time the wearer hits the same target, the damage dealt increases by 16%, stacking up to 5 times. This effect will be dispelled when the wearer changes targets. So this one, sort of as it says, you kind of just want to have Yanqing attacking the same enemy, and it's really easy to stack up because the skill and ultimate does hit a bunch of times. So it's really easy to stack this up, but again, you definitely want to make sure it's on, usually when you're fighting a boss, or just if you kill the side people fast, because you want to have this Lightcone stack to do the max effect. And another 4-star option is actually River Flows in Spring. What it does is after entering the battle, increases the wearer's speed by 12% and damage by 24%. When the wearer takes damage, this effect will disappear. This effect will resume after the end of the wearer's next turn. So I say this one, again, that was at S5 because it's a 4-star. It gives you a nice amount of speed, so it's even easier to get that 160 speed, because there is a relic set that I will talk about that does require 160 speed, so spoilers for that, but the speed is really nice because you want your Yanqing to be fast, and the damage bonus is also nice, and it has the same thing with Soul Steel Sync. If you get hit, you lose Soul Steel Sync, and you also lose the effect of this Lightcone, so it's sort of giving you a double to not get hit, so pretty much just don't get hit forehead. Now for the relics. So Yanqing's best relic set is actually the Pioneer Diver of Dead Waters, or the debuff set, because the 2-piece increasing damage dealt to enemies with debuffs by 12% is really nice and it's really easy to get. And the 4-piece, again, will require you to run someone else that does indeed inflict debuffs. And while yes, the chances to have the aforementioned effects increase is a little tricky because Yanqing's freeze is not guaranteed. Even with just having 3 debuffs on the enemy, the 4-piece on this relic set is still really good. Giving you 4% crit rate and up to 12% crit damage is really nice, and it's still practically one of the strongest ones even without the aforementioned effects increase. But another thing you can do is rock 2-piece of the debuff set or 2-piece of like the ice set. You can also do 2-piece of the debuff set, 2-piece of musketeers, and 4-piece of the ice set is also not a bad idea, because when you do pop the ultimate, your crit damage increases by 25% for 2 turns. So that is also another option that you can use, because it is fine, because you want the ultimate to hit hard so it doesn't get the bonus here sadly, but then your skill is going to be hitting harder anyway, so it can make up for it. So again, 4-piece debuff set's usually the best, but you can combine 2-piece of that with 2-piece ice, or you can do 2-piece ice, 2-piece musketeers, 2-piece musketeers, 2-piece debuff set, whatever you have. Now for the planet ornaments, his best planet ornaments is actually Glamoth. Be it 135 speed or 160 speed, both of them, this does become his best set. The damage dealt is really nice and the attack percent is nice. And again, it's pretty easy to get the 160 speed, especially with Yanqing's Trace and having high speed on its own. And then again, not to mention if you're running him with Ruan Mei, it becomes even easier. It's really easy to get the 160 speed, but again, even if you can't get the 160 speed, the 135 speed bonus is still making this set the best option. But another thing, if you don't have Glamoth pieces, you could also do Space Sealing Station. The up to 24% attack percent increase is also really nice. Now the next 2 options I'm going to say are sort of interchangeable, and there's a reason I put Space Sealing Station above it. The first one is Inner Solsato. Giving you crit rate and increasing your ultimate and follow-up attack damage by 15% is nice. And then past that is actually Brutal in Arena, giving you also 8% crit rate and also increasing your basic attack and skill damage by 20%. Both of these are actually good options you can use, and it depends. If you want your ultimate to do the main damage and your follow-up attacks to hit a bit harder, Inner Solsato becomes a better option. But if you just want the skill to do the most of the damage, then Brutal in Arena is for you. One isn't really better for the other, it just depends on which one you want to have do more damage. And I'm not talking about the crit rate requirement because it's Yanqing, it's really easy to get that. But the reason I put Space Sealing Station above that is because this just benefits all of it, your basic attack, your skill, your ult, and your follow-up, because it's just giving you 24% attack. Not specifically giving you ult damage or follow-up damage or skill damage. While those scale better, this one just gives you something that benefits all of them. And since Yanqing spams his skill, his ult does damage, and you want his follow-up to hit as hard as it can, this one is really good. Now for the main stats. For the body, you want to have crit damage. I'm not going to say crit rate because you really just don't want to have crit rate. You literally just need 20% crit rate, which is practically the soft cap for him. That's literally all you need. You just need 20% crit rate. For the feet, you will be rocking speed. For the orb, you'll be rocking ice damage. And for the link rope, you will want attack percent. I should also mention, if you tune your Yanqing to where you just have enough speed rolls, you can actually sub out the feed for attack percent. And if you have a better attack percent sphere, that also works. For the substats, you want to get speed until you at least have breakpoint. Past that, you want to make sure you have enough crit rate to hit the soft cap, which is again literally 20%. You probably don't even have to worry about this. And then past that is just your regular DPS stats, crit damage, attack percent. And then again, you don't really have to worry about crit rate, so I can't really say that, but crit damage, attack percent will be the best. and that's practically all you need. And so yeah, that is the full Yanqing build guide. Again, I know Yanqing is definitely not as strong as most of the DPSs in the game, but in the right hands, he is a lot more usable. I think people dog on him a little too much. A little too much, I should say. In the right hands, he is actually usable. And the people who tell me they can't get him to hit past like 80k with like an E6 Sparkle with Ruan Bear or something, that, my friend, is what we call skill issue. But besides that, he is pretty fun to use. Honestly, one of the most fun characters I've used in a minute. So hopefully you guys could find as much fun as I did with Yanqing, but everyone's different. Anyway, hope you guys found the video helpful. Let me know. Peace out.